Yeah. I know more guys have gotten letters so far. I think those were the more in the supplemental. So I think the supplemental is going to get out today or tomorrow. We don't get told beforehand. We have our chance to find out. But getting hired, it's not hired. Nobody hired. There wasn't very many promotions. Like everybody was gearing up to get another one, and then when they didn't, to go to 8 guys.
So I'm hearing in my new members stand up.
I have an agenda.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the standard from.
Standard.
Yeah. So basically, I took last year's.
Eric Lewis.
Okay.
He's good.
It's floating around.
There was a guy that I didn't know. There were 2 from
All right. Welcome to the first of our 2 business meetings of the year. The last business meeting will be our banquet. So the first business meeting is to take care of business. So the first order of business is to hear from our Secretary Treasurer, Aaron Skolnick.
Yay. This is always the part that we have so much fun with, right? Where I beg you and poor mouth you and say, give me your money. Yeah. So we'll flip this over here so the people online actually can see what I am showing. I typically start these off with the same statement, is that we continue to be in solid financial shape. We have once again reduced dues, especially for the milk people. But that means that the milk people actually have to pay. That's a big if. As of about 10 minutes ago, we got about $3,200 in the bank. I've collected about $2,600 in dues. We have about $1,200 outstanding. A little less than that from the people who've just given me something. Again, the privilege of accepting credit cards has cost us about $145 so far this year. Not a big deal. As far as the Nighthawks are concerned, we had 4 home games with them this year. We paid out $2,600 in game fees to our officials. 6 officials plus a clock operator on each game. Those have been all paid out and everything. If anyone has any questions on that, certainly see me. Again, what I mentioned here before, with the reduction in dues, it's even more critical that every member actually does contribute and pay. You should have already received an invoice from me for your annual dues, and many of you have already paid. If you have not, that means I probably have your email address incorrect in our billing system. Please let me know and come see me before I have to send Heffron after you to break your legs. The signing fees from Bill Ward have once again been set at $80 for crew members. I'm assuming it's $40 for supplementals.
$80 per members.
Okay, $80 for crew members. I will remove the comment of $40 for supplemental officials. I will be billing all of our Southern Chapter on-field crew members probably in the next week or so. I would like to have all of that paid to me by July 1st so I can then send a big check to Bill Ward or hand it to him when he comes to visit us sometime over the summer. Again, keep an eye on your email, and if you're not getting emails from me, that means we have a problem. A couple upcoming expenses. The EAIFO Parent Association, it's roughly going to be about $1,200. It depends on, of course, the number of members that we have, and that's in flux a little bit. We pay continuing for our bookkeeping, and then, of course, the banquet is our major expense. There were apparently some complaints about Urban Barbecue from December. Yeah. So we will see what our plan will be for that, but it will be, of course, catered here and be delicious as usual. If you are the accounting type and would like to take a look at the nitty-gritty, the balance sheet, and the P&L, come see me. I've got a printed copy with me. That also brings me kind of to something that I'm looking for, and that is someone who can back me up. Many of you may or may not know I've got a lot going on at home at the moment, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I need somebody to be available if I get hit by a bus or whatever. You know, I don't want to hang the association out because I'm the only one who knows how to do the things that I do. So if there is anyone who is even remotely tech savvy and can also do some kind of accounting, and you have any interest in helping out the board and the leaders, please let me know. You doesn't have to be tonight. You can, you know, shoot me an email or give me a call, or we can talk anytime you want. That would certainly be helpful for me as the Secretary Treasurer and for the association as a whole. Just want to make sure there's not a single point of failure. That's all. That is all that I have, I believe. I will hand it off to anybody else on the board.
All right, so, especially for the new people, let's understand, we are not trying to, as some organizations have in the past, we are not trying to suck you dry just getting into college football officiating. So your chapter dues are your chapter dues. If you are a member of the association, the Southern chapter, we do farm you out. We do try to promote you to other organizations, in particular to the ECFOA and MILT. MILT has his own dues-paying structure. We have a nominal fee for being a Southern chapter member that principally takes care of the banquet, but it also covers things like the screen, an LCD projector for the Baltimore Study Group. It helps the Baltimore Study Group help those who are, say, north of 495 in the district. It might be in the Columbia area and points north, to have an easier time getting to that study group the second Wednesday of every month, starting in February, right? Running all the way through December. See, I'm learning.
Probably how many years?
All right. The Southern chapter has meetings starting in February, where we run 4 straight months. February, March, April, May. The first 3 are mechanics sessions. We bring in speakers. Then we have this meeting here. We take a short break. Bill Ward visits sometime in July. Then we have our annual clinic in August. That is one Saturday, typically the 3rd Saturday. Lately it's been at Gallaudet. We'll probably alternate between Catholic and Gallaudet. But that's starting at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and we wrap up at 3 o'clock roughly in the afternoon. Take a break, season starts, 4th Wednesday, September, October, season's over in November, banquet in December. Chapter dues helps cover all of the administrative expenses that go along with that. The board has a couple meetings where we have some wings or something, but we do not go out eating and drinking at your expense. Also, the Parent Association, the EAFO, has stopped having annual meetings up on the Cape. They do a lot of meetings online, virtually, conference calls. Administrative expenses there are way down, except for running ZebraWeb. We do have that small administrative fee that we pay for that. So that's where your money goes. I am going to encourage those of you who work for the ECFOA and MILT to pay your dues, because Tom will talk about the success he's had and the fact that chapter assignments will come back this year. So there's an opportunity to get additional games. For Bill Ward, we'll talk about schedules and things like that in just a minute. Any questions about the finances? $80 goes to Bill Ward. I am not sure about another order for shirts. I will find out from him about more shirts for this year. Last year, we were able to reduce the cost of the shirts for members based on monies that were already paid. You just paid the difference. So we try to make sure that the money that comes in goes back to you. Any questions about that? Mike, anything?
Let's see. Thank you to everybody who signed up for the Maryland Passing Camp. It's a nightmare, but I think we have it covered now. You'll be hearing from me. If you didn't hear from me today, you'll be hearing from me soon. So keep everything up to date in ZebraWeb. That's how I find your email addresses, your phone numbers, and everything else to talk to you. You never know when something's going to pop up, and if you're available, we'll try to get you some work. Promotions are happening right now that I know of. If you get promoted, let us know right away. We'll let the chapter know. Congratulations, and then we got to fill your spot. Other than that, looking forward to a little bit of off season coming up soon. Then we'll be weighing in again in August, so get back in the gyms.
The weigh-ins, for those of you who don't know, we weigh in twice a year. We don't have you run, walk, jump, crawl backwards, any of those things. July, when Bill Ward comes to town, we bring out the scale, we weigh you. When we get to August and we go to Gallaudet, we weigh you again. We track your weight year to year. If you're trending up from July to August, not a good sign. If you're trending up year to year, not a good sign. If we have talked to you about being on the high end or the low end of the appearance scale, depending on how you want to look at it, and you're consistently there, that's not a good thing. You have time to fix it. Appearance in uniform is a big deal. It's a big deal for our schools, and since we are now bringing in a vast number of new to the college rank officials, whenever you get on film and you get seen, how you look and how you move are probably the top two criteria. That's called the eye test, if anybody doesn't know. Mr. Heffron, what do we have?
Not much. Like Mike said, promotions are happening. There are still conferences that haven't done a darn thing, so hopefully everybody gets a chance to move up the ladder at their own paces. For those of you milk guys that haven't paid your dues, I will find out by the end of the night. Be careful.
Here.
Thank you. You know, as we get into the season, I know we study rules and mechanics. Study your demeanor. Study your ability to have a conversation with a coach. Number one complaint from all coaches is communication. Learn how to talk to these guys when the heat is on. That'll carry you further than any rules test or any mechanics manual. Your ability to have coaches yelling and scream at you, and you know your skill at keeping them right near you, calm, and talking to them. And that goes in a crew. Learn how to communicate from 60 yards away to one another so that you all know what you're doing so that he can get a good explanation. It's very hard to do. Develop that talent to learn how to do it, okay? Thank you.
Not a problem. Some of the known promotions, Jamar Law and Desiree Abrams are both on cruise as of right now for Milt. So congratulations to them. Scott Bowers has been picked up by the ODAC. And I had a very positive email from Billy D. Williams today. He turned out to be a very hot commodity, and As of right now, he is the first alternate referee for Conference USA.
Wow.
And you know, all of that's good for us. It's good and bad. I mean, it's bad because we lose good people. We move good people up. Billy sat here probably no more than 3 or 4 years ago as a new official, and now he's the first alternate for Conference USA and could be on his way to bigger and better things. So upward mobility is possible. It becomes probable when you do the things that we ask you to do. Because really what we try to do is give you the solid foundation on which to build your college career. And if you do that, you can move. If you don't do that, well, 45 has 2 words for you.
Yeah.
I hope everybody got that.
Yeah.
If you didn't,
Yeah.
Tom, why don't you go ahead and make your announcement?
We've reached out to Virginia University of Lynchburg, and we have secured them for the upcoming season. Those assignments will be made by the chapter. They've asked for 7 officials at $185 a man, and they play their games at the City Stadium in Lynchburg, Virginia. So they've got 5 home games. Their first home game, gentlemen, is in August. It's the last Sunday in August. It's a Sunday game. So Robert talked about getting ready to go. You don't have till September. Some of you only have till late August. I've also reached out to George Mason and to Longwood University, but I have not heard back from either one of those. Hopefully, if we are able to get either one of those, that may be another 3 or 4 games for the chapter. And those assignments will be made by the chapter through Robert and company. They won't be coming from Bill Ward. All right? So that's all I got. Just keep your fingers crossed. Maybe we can pick up another school or 2.
Any updates from UMES?
I have tried to find the UMES schedule. In fact, normally I have everybody's schedule by now and have started to, get assignments together for review by the chapter before it goes to Bill for input. That has not been done yet. I was able to find some schedules, and I'll give those to you in just a few minutes for what is known. Which leads me to say this. Zebra Web is the assigning system for Milt Halstead. So those of you who work for Milt will keep your block dates up to date in Zebra Web. Those of you who work for Bill Ward and Milt will keep your block dates up to date in Arbiter and Zebra Web. Those of you who are going to get chapter assignments and assignments through Bill Ward will only need to keep your information updated in Arbiter. Chapter assignments will come through the TPFOC portal, and Bill Ward assignments will come through ACFOA. We already know that many high school groups use Arbiter. That is not a problem. If we try to assign you a game, we may do that, even if you have a high school assignment. Those of you who have issues with your high school assigner and you're working a college assignment, let us know. All right? If you have a conflict of an assignment, let us know. If you have a wedding, if you have a business trip, if you have vacation between the start of August and I will say the end of November, block your date. If you have an assignment, I don't care if it's a chapter assignment, a Milt assignment, a Bill Ward assignment. If you have to turn back a scrimmage or a game, we highly suggest that for Milt, your first call goes to Bob before you do anything. Any other assignment, call me. We are not really interested in your personal business, but many of you want to move and progress and have a long and successful college career. We can be your shield. If you do not allow us to shield you, well then congratulations when the arrows and the swords come flying in your direction. Any questions? All right. Because normally we say this, and then come September, somebody calls for Milt, Diane, and then there goes, whoosh. That's your career. Or you call Bill. And as much as we care about all of the things that go on, and we know life happens, the only thing that when we get into the season that Bill and Milt care about are whether their assignments are filled. Period. End of story. All of the excuses that you may have are irrelevant. I hate to say it that way, but that's the truth. If something happens in your Friday night game and you get hurt, you should be calling one of us. Because the only thing Bill wants to know if it's one of our assignments,
Who's going to take his place?
who do you have to get there? That is all he is concerned about. Any questions? Any confusion? All right.
Robert, do we still have comment?
I will get into schedules in just a minute, where we have games, known games at this point, and we'll announce crews. Let me say this, because we're going to get, if you are a new member, because we're going to have you stand up here in a minute. If you're a new member, I need to make sure before you leave today, I get your email address and your social security number so that we can get you into the various systems, so that Bill can make assignments if you're on a crew, and we can get you on our announcements. Now, just so that you know, Bill will make announcements about clinics that he has in other locations. And a lot of emails go from Bill to all of his assigning boards. We have the luxury, because of our working relationship, starting with Bill Dixon back when he was very active, and building on that relationship with Bill Ward, we are able to have his one visit in July, which we try to get everybody there, and it's normally a 5 o'clock start, because he flies in, flies out, says what he has to say, and goes. That keeps expenses down. Do stay down. Do try to show up. Questions there? All right, Aaron,
Yes, sir.
how about we get the new members?
Okay, let's do that. Let me switch this again so people can see my screen. All right, so we have our new members. So I will call your name. If you are here, please stand up. Joseph Aguiar, or is it Aguirre? Aguiar, okay. Chase Barboy.
No, hang on, let him,
Oh, wait.
yeah, let him say who we're.
Okay, then we'll do this one at a time. Tell us about yourself a little bit.
I've been in the WDFOA for 3 years. This will be my 4th year officiating.
No.
I'll work anywhere on the field. I'm a little reluctant to go to umpire, but
Best position on the field.
may as well. And I'm happy to hopefully work some college games.
All right, thanks, Joe. Chase?
Add your position too,
Oh.
so that,
I do referee in high school or deep.
Name's Chase Barmoy. I'm short wing in high school. Officiate for Champion Officials Group.
All right, Jonathan?
Jonathan Brown, WDFOA, 3rd year official.
Shelton, are you here? No? Okay. Brian?
Back here. Hi, guys. 4th year official, now on board. Oh, sorry.
John Elliker?
John Elder, with WD, it'll be my 7th year high school. Primarily work short wing. I've done some R. Live in Columbia, Maryland.
Okay. Chuck?
Chuck Engel, with Frederick County Football Officials Association. I've worked 20+ years, every position on the field except for umpire. I'm looking to go back home with the short.
Gordon?
I'm Gordon Everett. It's my 3rd year. I'm from Maryland. I live in Alexandria. Played football in college, D2 school in Missouri. I play wide receiver. I work deep wing, field judge, side judge, and just ready to get at it.
Is Trent here?
Yep. Trying to early, working deep. Any questions? That's Bob.
That's a good answer.
Listen, don't be bashful, dude. Listen, Trent is in the rare player protocol exception to all the crap we went through. Starting quarterback, University of Delaware, what years?
12 to 14.
Don't fuck up.
All right, then. Mike Kennedy? He's in Virginia Beach, probably. Derek?
Derek Lattimore, 4th year official, U.S. Sub. Short wing position, white cap, for high school officiating.
Okay. Is Jamar here? No, Jamar's online. I saw that. So, page 2 is AO.
Io Lockwood, currently with Washington District. Prior to that, I was with South Florida officials. I work typically deep wing.
All right. Opie? Oh, that's right. Opie's not. Opie told me he wasn't going to be here tonight. He's also he's doing something with his family. His daughter's being inducted to National Honor Society. He's also WD, and I don't even know what position he works. Is he deep? Okay. Daryl?
Hello, Daryl Royal, Eastern Board of Officials. Been officiating there for about 5 years. Short wing, starting to get into a little umpire, and then this year I'll be officiating some R in the middle school.
Okay. Is Chris here?
Chris Fenelon, out of Virginia Beach, mainly umpire, deep wing. Been officiating for 6 years.
David?
Dave Stewart, I'm from Namoa, this will be my 3rd year at short.
Clem?
Kim Ovesle, 5th year with the NBFO, and I'm a short wing.
Sean?
Jonathan Houston, I'm about 6 years, the WPFOA, and primarily work with
Mike?
Yeah, Michael Wagstaff, 10 years, high school down in Richmond, Virginia. Worked all positions, mainly short.
Right?
Ray Wilson, Allen Board, Deep Wayne.
Two. And Troy?
Troy Sicaro, I've done 3 years of high school, right now Maryland Board, primarily dean.
All right. I would like to point out, since I have been secretary treasurer, the class has not been so well represented at the first meeting. So we have all but two, I believe, are here today. So that is excellent. Thank you guys for making the trip. We really appreciate it. Guys, give them a hand. Welcome.
Now, for those of you who recognize, have been here for a while, this is probably the largest class that we have brought in at any one time. It's probably something that we needed for a couple of reasons. One is we have been very good with being able to, like they do at NCAA basketball, one and done. And by that I mean 1 year within the chapter, and then have had folks move on to full-time crews somewhere else, which is a testament, I think, to where we start in Towson with the 6-week training, and then the Baltimore study group, the Southern chapter study group, the amount of quality officials that we bring in to talk to you about how to officiate, moving you on to TBFOC 301, where more folks come in and talk to you. This area is probably bar none in the entire country, has more training and more officials coming out of this area that move on to FCS and BCS in any other area in the country. So,
For the veterans, this is especially, to you as well, but the new guys, hopefully we'll continue that tradition. 1 or 2 and done, and we can get you ready for the next steps of your career. But in order to be successful in doing that, you guys who are still extremely involved in your high school organizations have to find the cream of the crop and drag them in right behind you. Please, always be on the lookout for good, talented, young, fit officials. We can't do it without your assistance. Okay? We rely on you for that.
I'd like to thank our WD members here for bringing in at least 60% of this year's class. Good job, guys. Sorry.
no problem. But, one of Bill can attest to this, about 10 years ago when we really got involved with the board, the single hardest thing to do was to make an inroad into the high school associations because they don't want to lose their best folks. And so we have finally been able to get our membership. If you notice the geographic location from northern Baltimore all the way down to the Richmond area, we have gotten, I think, one official from every association. And we need to continue that. There's no one association. I think when I started here, the WDFOA comprised probably 95% of all officials that were working for the Southern chapter at that time. Now it's a much more diverse group on a lot of different levels, and we're very pleased with that. Bill, did you want to comment on that or say anything?
I'm amazed. When I came in and we were talking, that you all with 3 years, with 2 years, there was a rule when we started. You had to be a minimum of 5 years, and you were lucky if you got it in 5 years. So you're either all pretty good, or we need officials worse than I thought we would. But it's good to see you. And I do a lot of scouting for you who don't know. I write the mechanics manual for the state of Maryland. I do all the observing for the state of Maryland. And I go around and look at a lot of people. I presently work for the ACC. But we're always looking for good guys. It's really, you know, if you see me at a game or some of the other observers, ask questions. Don't be afraid. We're here to help you. Believe me, we're here to help you. You're not taking my job because I'm sitting up there. I'm not on the field very much anymore. I'm still doing it. But, you know, it's great to see this young, again, we say young faces, you know. There's guys like me, Robert, Tom, Bob, who've been around too damn long. You want to know the truth. So it's really good to see young faces. We're here to help. Believe me, we're here to help. I mean, that's our main goal, is to teach. And again, good luck. I'm just amazed at 3 years of experience and you're just level. It's great. You're probably that good. And hopefully we'll see you move on.
You know, as I mentioned to some of you in the training class, you know, we hired you as much on your potential as your current ability. So all of you now have to learn how to officiate at the college level. And I think we've got some good officials. We're trying to move to 4 crews this year. So I'm going to announce the 4 crews as they are tentatively set up. Now, just because your name, if you're new and you don't see your name on a crew, don't read into that. There are plenty of assignments to go around. There will be plenty of work to go around. But this is really the first wave, if you will. Not all of the promotions are out, so there are still time for additional changes. We don't want to overload any one crew with all rookies. We know how that worked out at the Shield level. It didn't work out well for them, so we know it's not going to work out well for us. So we tried to mix and match crews. So let me start with Mr. Wes Brown and your crew. Wes, why don't you stand up so everybody knows you? Wes is a long-time official. We worked on the same crew in the CIAA for a long time. He has moved on now to referee. And the umpire on his crew will be Gary Hobel. His short wings are Jerome Travers. If Jerome, you're here, you can stand. Jerry Taylor is returning to us. Jerry is a former MEAC official. Brian Brumfeld, you are joining Wes, so you can stand up and get an idea of the crew makeup. Joe, you're on Wes's crew as well, as a deep wing. And Elton Battle is the back judge. And there's Elton. So that's the crew for now. And we'll see if changes get made as we go forward. I will say this as well as we're getting into the crew announcements. Some of you also, Gallaudet has a 3-person chain crew that we assign, as well as a game clock and the play clock. So there are supplemental assignments where those of you who may not be working a game, you may be part of the chain crew. Gallaudet pays the chains extremely well at about $100 a game. Some of you will go there and get those assignments, as well as the clock operator at Lynchburg. because what we want you to do is sit in on the 3-hour pregame and get a feel for what is to be expected of you as things go forward. So do not hesitate to take those assignments. Bob will hear from Milt later on. He may put out a call for clock assignments as well. Do not be afraid to take those assignments and get around the crews and hear what a 3-hour pregame is like. And also get a feel for what a 3-hour game can be like. All right? Questions? And these crews are in no particular order, so, you know. The next crew, we have a tandem referee in terms of Tom and Aaron. The umpire for that crew is Jody Tolbert. The short wings are Donald Charney and Mark Blair. Tony Zaccaro will be one of the deep wings. Daryl DeBerry and Rob Opatowski will be sharing one of the deep wing officials. And Mike Gaines is right now slated to be the back judge on that crew. The next crew, and he doesn't know this yet, so congratulations to Mike Gaskill, who will get a shot at White Hat.
Surprise! Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Jim Kaufman will be his experienced umpire. What they didn't know is they worked together this past Saturday at a Nighthawks game, and I happened to be there because I wanted to see if Mike could handle some of the responsibilities. Notice I said some, because he doesn't know it all yet. So he'll probably be blowing up my phone, Wes's phone, Tom's phone, Aaron's phone between now and the start of the season, trying to figure out what it means to be a college referee.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Just follow the Heffron rule. Don't fuck up. It'll be fine.
Derek Walker and Wendell Holmes and Chase Barrymore will be the short wings. Fred Dimple, Marty Peters, and Colbert Barnes are the deep crew on there. So that takes care of that crew. So those of you who will be working with myself and Horace, Horace is the umpire on my crew. Daryl Royal will be replacing Desiree. Ralph Newell is the opposite short wing.
Did he make it?
He was on his way. He's probably online.
Yeah, he is online.
Stephen Williams is a deep wing. James Taylor, if he's here, will be a deep wing. And as long as he doesn't try and throw me a pass, you know, trying to throw a flag from the bag judge, Trent, you're the bag judge on the crew. So congratulations there as well. So those are the 4 crews as they are currently constructed. That does not mean that Derek and John and Clem and Jonathan and Gordon and Shelton and Ayo and Sean and Michael will not get assignments on the field. We have plenty of games to go around. Any questions? Question? Okay, so what do I know right now about schedules? Right now, I know that we have Gallaudet and Catholic and Lackawanna and Lewisburg and Coppin State on, as well as Virginia University Lynchburg.
So Lackawanna is now a regular assignment for us.
Lackawanna, we will get their entire 5-game home schedule. Lackawanna opens up September 2nd. So those of you who thought you had, until mid to late September to be ready to work a 3-hour game up tempo in the heat, you have until August. So all 16 or 20 of you who are first-year officials, you have until August to get deep into the rule book and be ready to work your first college football assignment this year. Let's see. Lackawanna will also play Nassau Community College in September. Erie Community College on September 30th. They'll also play Mocking College. And November 12th, they will play Georgia Military College, probably again in Huntington, West Virginia, Marshall University. They say nice ride.
Yes, it was. Road trip. I have advice about locations not to visit when you're in Huntington.
From what I understand, those are the prime places to visit. And that your crew took you there.
Yeah. My crew took care of me.
Remember, we're live on the
Yeah,
internet.
we're live on the internet. It is. Believe me, there will be stories that will be there forever.
I hope none of that happened in the hotel room again.
Now understand, D1 high levels of, FCS, BCS, they fly in, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, depending on when they have their game. You will be getting up
dark 30.
2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to meet your crew in order to get where you're going 3 hours before the game. All right? Now, that's okay if you're working one of the 2 Coppin State University home games, the 21st or the 28th of October against George Mason or University of North Carolina in Greensboro. Those, if they're 12, 1 o'clock starts, no problem getting there 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Right? Lewisburg, North Carolina.
That's a little
Leave now.
different. Start driving.
That's just before you get to Raleigh, if you're going down 85. Get off, go off to the Route 1, headed towards Raleigh, and about another 15, 20 minutes down the road, you get to Lewisburg. They have 4 home games. September 2nd. So we have 2 games on September 2nd. They're playing Virginia Military, Virginia Prep Academy at noon. That means you get there at what time?
9 a.m.
It's roughly a 4 to 5 hour ride from the DC metropolitan area. That's all I'm going to say about that. The good news is September 16th, they don't play till 1 o'clock, so you get an extra hour of sleep. Then again, in October, they play Nassau Community College at noon. And October 21st, they play Palmetto Prep at 1 p.m.
Are they playing all their games at Lewisburg High School? Do they have any at Franklin?
Most of those are to be determined, so it'll be one of those two sites, which are high school locations.
Question, Robert, is Lewisburg still 6-name mechanic?
Lewisburg went to 7 last year.
It went 7? Because I ain't never been there. That's about that.
All right, September 2nd, Mike Gaskill, Virginia Prep Academy. We'll fix that.
So you're going to Lewisburg September 2nd. There you go. You got it.
There you go.
It's not a problem.
All right, so those are 3 of the schools that we have. Here's the even better news. Last year, Gallaudet had 6 home games.
This year they have 4.
This year they have 5.
No.
So that's not bad. Most of them are at 1 o'clock. So September 9th, we'll have a crew at Gallaudet against Greensboro. The 16th, we'll have a crew there at for their game against Union at 1 p.m. October 7th, they'll play Anna Maria at home at 1 p.m. October 21st, they'll play Hassan, that's, I believe, their homecoming. But they do close out the season at home on October 28th at noon, senior day. So, you know, there'll be 2 weeks in November where Gallaudet will not have a home game. Gallaudet is Division III. Their home games are very important. They do have an automatic bid in their conference to the NCAA playoffs. So, Gallaudet has 5 home games. Catholic University, D2. They left the ODAC. They will have 5 home games. They open up at home September 9th against Utica at noon. Then they have a home game September 16th against Randolph-Macon at 1 o'clock. September 23rd, MIT at noon. October 7th, WPI at a to-be-determined time. And their final home game is Norwich at another to-be-determined time. So out of those 5 schools, that's 21 assignments. That does not count the 5 that are Virginia University and Lynchburg. Their first home game, I do know, is against Lewisburg at home on August 27th. Tom has the rest of their schedule. I don't know if you know it off the top of your head.
No, they have, but they do have 5 home games. That first game is a Sunday. Just be aware of that. That's a Sunday game. I think it starts at noon. It's against Lewisburg. So the Lewisburg, well, they will see us 5 times. Okay, 4 at home and then once on the road.
I don't know if Tom mentioned, but Lewisburg will pay you cash on site. So,
Cash, man?
Yeah.
No, not Lewisburg.
Not Lewisburg.
Virginia University.
Lynchburg is paying cash on site. Lewisburg pays you on site by check. So those 2 schools, which are probably our longest distance, you will walk away with your game fee that day. So that's a plus. So right now that's 26 assignments. If you would take 4 crews into that, you can do the math. What is that, 6 pieces? 6 or 7 piece. If every crew works every assignment, we will mix and match crews for the most part, except probably for some conference games. Bill Ward has said that he will send us on road trips. It's another reason why we went to 4 crews. So particularly on those weeks where he has a heavy need, we will travel. My crew went up to Springfield, Mass. Last year. I think we had a good time. Some of us stayed overnight on the way up. Most of the crew went to the Basketball Hall of Fame up there after we finished the game because it was a noon assignment. We got done before 3. We were out by 4. So that's where we are there. Any questions?
Are we doing Alderson Broadus this year?
Alderson Broadus, good question. Alderson Broadus went to another conference and a new assignment. So while we did pick up Catholic, we did lose Alderson Broadus. The good news on the exchange there is about 4 hours worth of travel time.
Each way.
Sad news is Aaron doesn't get to double dip by going to Alderson Broadus
And
on a
then
Saturday. Have his crew do some things on, on the way over to Huntington, West Virginia, and then come back home.
That was a fun trip.
So, we have been known to do that, especially late in the season. Find a crew who is nearby, because that game was played on a Sunday. Rather than have 2 crews travel a lot, we just have 1 crew have a good time for the weekend. Playoff assignments, we'll mention that. Most first or second year officials aren't eligible. We typically do not, it is not mandatory for you to join the CFO in your first year. There are good training materials. We make the tests and other things available to you. I think that's $125 now or $100.
150, 120 or something, times like 5, maybe D2, D3.
What that does for you, you get access to the videos. We have a tendency to show videos at our clinics. We make the tests available. Any rules interpretation we make available. Again, we try to keep your expenses down as much as we can. Those of you who are first year, I'm not going to tell you not to work high school football on Thursday night or Friday night. Not going to tell you that. If that's what you decide to do, you darn well better be able to compartmentalize rule books. There are rules differences. Those of you who want to work Friday night, invest in a high school uniform. Because you do not have time to wash your Friday night uniform and show up on Saturday morning 3 hours before the game. Those 3 hours go by fairly quickly, especially when you have to be on the field 1 hour before kickoff. And the referee and umpire leave 30 minutes before you're supposed to be on the field. That time flies. Use your travel time wisely. Anybody want to comment on that?
I will just suggest making a college rules mistake on a high school football field. I guarantee you no one's going to know. You make a high school rules mistake on a college football field. What's that sound we were referring to earlier?
Splash. Yeah.
So just study. And that goes for any league you're working. They all deserve enough respect that you have a grasp of what you're walking into, whether it be a women's professional football game, a flag football game, JV, varsity, high school, or collegiate. They deserve your respect. So get studying.
The other thing to think about, so Friday night, it's cooler, it's still August or September, you do your game, you run yourself to death, you wake up 5 hours later, you drive to your game, now you got 5 quarters, if you, including the 3 minutes extra a quarter. It's 1 o'clock, it's noon, it's probably 115 degrees on that field. You're going to be running your ass off again. I stopped doing it. I couldn't do the 2 days in a row anymore. But you'll figure that out real fast if you do it. But you got to be in really good shape to do 2 games back to back like that.
Bill, you want to add anything?
Mike's old.
I used to be able to when I was in my 20s.
And let me say something about conditioning and rules. Each position has their own set of movements that's unique to it. Go ahead and buy the long sleeve. Get a separate windbreaker that goes under there. Yeah. You know, deep wings, deep officials. I will leave it up to you whether you want to buy all 6. Here's what I suggest when we tell you what position, buy 1 and be able to call around, because we will share uniforms and share shirts. Questions?
Sir, do you have a pre-game dress code? Yes.
Absolutely. Pre-game dress code. Normally coat and tie. Slacks, shoes. The exception might be for some of the longer trips to Virginia University Lynchburg or Lewisburg, where we might, if everybody gets a shirt, you'll be able to wear. Stephen, if you'll stand up and show them what the Bill Ward and Barry, they both have the Bill Ward shirts, very comfortable, blue. You know that. Yeah, with a blazer. We're very professional. It's a 2-inch striped shirt. You will wear a placard on the back of your shirt.
That matches your position.
That matches, yes, it matches your position. Those of you who are not familiar, we do, with the mechanics, we do switch at half. So the head linesman is on the line judge side in the first half, and the line judge is on the head linesman, so you're going to be working the chains, so don't think you're going to get away with it. Your referees, facility, shower, shoes, pack those in your bags. Occasionally, we do get to schools that will provide you some soap and a towel. And it may be warm water. If your foot, all right, a lot of other times you get there, there's either very poor shower facilities, you don't want to use them, and it's like, get out of there. That's just the way it is. If you worked a 2.5, 3 hour game, and then you all have to jump in the car sweaty, well, you know.
You better shine.
Yeah, that's a.
Gentlemen, that's going to be particularly the case probably when you go down to maybe Lewisburg, you know, beginning of the season. The school down there may not have started, and so they don't even have the boilers on. So the only thing you're going to get is cold water. So think about it. You know, take the old Navy shower, jump in, step out, soap up, jump back in, rinse off. So you're under the water for about 9 seconds. But it is what it is. You know, you play with the hand you're dealt. And speaking of that, the Lewisburg, we mentioned before, they play on high school fields. There's nothing you can do about the goalposts, but you can certainly adjust the pylons to reflect the college hash marks rather than the high school hash marks, because the field is probably only going to be marked for high school.
Franklinton usually is marked for
Do they do both?
Well, they only market it because the Franklinton High School doesn't play at that field anymore.
Okay.
They have their nice new turf place that they play on. So it's usually marked college at Franklin.
So just be aware of that. If you go somewhere and it's not marked for college, you adjust the pylons. How far apart are the pylons? Where is it in the rule book? Rule 1, gentlemen.
Let's talk a little bit about appearance and uniform. Please no 5 o'clock shadows when you get to the game site. I'm not going to.
6 or 7 o'clock shadow.
I don't have any games going on.
Eight o'clock shadow.
Again, that's, one of the issues that you have if you're going to get up at, work a high school game that starts at 7 o'clock, or say 6 or 6:30. You may plan on it being 2.5 hours or 2 hours, but when you find out it takes 3 hours and then another hour to get out of the parking lot and get home, so, it's your choice. Here's the thing. D1 officials, they make game checks that have commas in it. In order to get that game check with a comma in it, whether it's 1 year or more, you have to make that first check where you're making $165 or $185. Now, when you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you get home past midnight, because traffic on 95 was backed up, that is a sacrifice, and we appreciate it. We hope you get along well on those long days. But you have to get through this in order to get to that. Do not ask us to recommend you too much for a higher conference. Directly. Your feelings may get hurt. We are brutally honest if we are ever going to recommend you to somebody at a higher level. We have good friends who assign scrimmages at Towson, at Georgetown, and other locations in the area. When we have them come in and do presentations and we give them access to the game film, all game film that we get gets posted in a secure place where nobody knows it. Aaron will tell us where it is. And you get to look at your game film if we're lucky enough to get it. Not every school gives us game film. What we get, we share. What we get, we review. Do not take it personally. But if you ask, we will tell you. When they ask us, we will tell them who we want to have looked at. And you may end up someplace where someone will be that will move your career along. Questions on moving up? Questions on getting started? Yes, sir.
Rule book for 2017 and official CFL manuals, where can we get them through?
The rule book is going to be on Zebra. It's already on ZebraWeb. Once you get access, you can download it.
It's also available free from the NCAA as a PDF. I don't think we're getting actual.
We're not getting hard copy books.
Every same as the high school. Every 2 years for rules.
Mechanics manual is only on the arbiter if you're a CFO member. So if you're a new guy, find somebody. I probably have a bunch of them. to get you one, because we'll get another one this year.
Okay, once they come out, we'll get them to you. Let me say this, I do highly recommend getting an Android device, tablet, something that you can put your rule book on. Many of us, we'll get a hard copy, but we hardly ever open that anymore. I mean, we'll carry it because, maybe, for some crews to have somebody with a hotspot so that you can pull it up, but you need to know it before you get there. Because it's not going to do you any good in the locker room. We've got a couple more times where all of this will be going over in more detail. The first time will be July. The next meeting will be July. Bill Ward will come down. Look for rules study sessions starting in July. The test comes out around July 1st. 100 questions. We will go over all the 100 questions in a couple different venues. I suggest you do every question. Do not do like some and want to, because here's the format. If all of us are in a room and we're going over the first 100 questions, I may get question 1. And I will answer question 1 along with the rules reference. Then we will go to Tom, then Bob, then Mike, and we'll go all the way around the room. And if you call in, you will get an opportunity to answer a question. Do not think that you're going to come in late, not do the questions, and get your 1 question and not give a rules reference. We have those that want to do that. We've gotten very good at knowing who they are and issuing consequences and repercussions. If you want to succeed in this business, you have to do the work. Questions about the rules test? It's multiple choice. Some are true and false. No questions? Tom, anything else?
No. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank one of our own for his friendship. He's going to be disappearing. Mikey Dial's got his transfer the hell out of here, and he's going to Key West.
He just got promoted.
Pardon me?
He just got promoted, Lieutenant Commander.
In fact, go ahead and say a few words how you got here, and then,
Get the hell out.
Yeah, won't keep you guys too long. Real quick, I'm in the Coast Guard, so I've been up here for 4 years. I'm on my way out, but this is by far one of the finest officiating organizations in the country, hands down, without a doubt. I've had the privilege.
He was discovered as a clock operator. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the finest organizations around, and the guys and girls in our organization will do anything to help each other out, and you can't find that anywhere. So I'm going to ask, or I will try to continue to be a member of the Southern chapter, even I'm being down in Key West.
The southern chapter.
It's very southern.
It's the extremely southern chapter.
Way south.
We will take your money.
Yeah, I'll pay my dues and I'll be on the phone or computer if I can, learning. There hasn't been a single meeting or a single game that I've been in attendance for that I haven't learned something. So thank you, everyone in the room, everyone on the computer. Everyone's not here for helping me to get where I am, and it's a great. I'm gonna miss you guys. So if you're ever down, please call me. We'll go out for a drink or a boat ride or something. So thanks.
Or he may come rescue you.
That's right.
Or arrest you.
you know, the other thing about Mike's dedication, he started up here virtually. He attended Towson from, were you in Florida?
St. Pete.
Yeah, he was in St. Pete, Florida. So he started his training online and then was able to come up and do a couple scrimmages. So that's how he got started. So, you know, there's no one way to have success in this business, except how much time and effort you put into it. So, any other questions, comments, concerns?
If you would like to pay tonight, I will take credit cards, checks, and cash if you have exact change.
If you owe me email address and social security number, please make sure I get that before you leave. Other than that, safe travel.
Is there an attendance roster going around?
Yeah, there should be a sign-in sheet out there somewhere.
Is everybody signed in? Send it up here.
A few folks are going over to Urban Barbecue. Follow Heffron if you are interested. Have a good night.